Hello, everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss how to segment consumer and business markets. Now, market segmentation involves dividing a large market into smaller, well defined groups of consumers who share similar characteristics or needs, as previously mentioned in other videos. These groups, known as market segments, help companies target their products and marketing efforts more effectively. So, the four primary types of segmentation are demographic, geographic, behavioral, and psychographic. And you're going to find a lot of similarity between the discussion on segmentation and targeting because they use pretty much a very similar process. So, by using these categories, businesses can create tailored strategies that appeal directly to their target customers. So, demographic segmentation, as mentioned before, it divides the market based on some measurable characteristics, some demographic characteristics like age, gender, or income, or religion, or education, or nationality, or even social class. Now, these factors are popular because they are easy to measure and often linked to consumer preferences. So, for instance, age is frequently used to group customers, with each generation, like baby boomers, millennials, or Generation Z, having distinct experiences that shape their behaviors. Other key demographic factors can include life stage, for example, and this refers to significant events that take place in a person's life, like getting married, buying a home, or retiring. So, gender differences can also play a role in consumer behavior, although some companies are now offering gender neutral products. Income segmentation can also help divide consumers based on their earnings, and it is often used in markets like clothing, cars, and financial services. And yet another factor could be race and culture. And these are relevant for multicultural marketing because as different ethnic groups have, they often have unique preferences that may also require targeted approaches by the company. Next, we have geographic segmentation, and this divides the market based on location, such as the country or their city. And this type of segmentation helps companies tailor their products to meet local needs. Okay, so people who belong to the same geographic location may have very common needs and preferences that are distinct from the needs and preferences of customers who may be located in other areas. So, for example, people in colder climates, okay, or countries that experience winters, actual winters with snow. And they may require winter clothes, right? While those in warmer and tropical areas, like in our country, they might prefer lighter fabric. Okay, so with advances in technology, companies can now target customers based on their real time, um, their real time location. Okay, so combining geographic data with demographic information, which is a process known as geo clustering, it provides even more precise customer profiles, and it helps businesses pinpoint where their most valuable customers are located. Next, we have behavioral segmentation, and this groups customers based on their actions and their purchasing behaviors. So the company looks at things such as how much do they spend, how loyal are they, how often do they buy, what at what points in their lives do they buy, when do they buy it, basically their purchasing and their spending habits. So by understanding these behavioral nuances, the companies can tailor their marketing efforts to different customer groups. So example, heavy users of a product may receive loyalty rewards, right? Or loyalty cards, or they may be given additional points for every purchase to encourage them to purchase again in the future, but also to reward them for their loyal behavior to the brand. And while new customers may not be given loyalty award rewards, but they may be offered discounts just to encourage them to purchase from the company, at least during the first few times. Other behavioral factors include buyer readiness stage, which describes how close a customer is making a purchase. Okay. And additionally, the loyalty status is used to classify consumers based on how committed they are to a particular brand. Now, companies also segment customers by occasions, such as holidays or special events. To better understand when and why they buy certain products. So, again, you have your buyer readiness stage, which tells you how close they are to making a purchase. Then you have the loyalty status, and you also have segmenting customers according to occasions. Okay. Or sorry, not last, but third, we have the psychographic segmentation, and this divides customers based on their lifestyle, their values, and their psychological traits. So this approach it is deeper than demographic and behavioral factors because it allows businesses to understand why customers make the purchase decisions they make. So it goes deeper than just the observable identifiers of customers. It requires you to take a look at the psychology of the customer, and to really understand the underlying motivations and psychological reasons for their purchases or their purchasing pattern in general. So, for example, two customers who are demographically similar might have very different interests and values. So, one well known tool that can be used to psychographically segment customers is the VALS framework, or the VALS. And this segments consumers based on their motivations, such as their ideals, their achievement, or the way that they express themselves, and their available resources like their income or their education. So, this type of segmentation can also include other factors like sexual orientation. And this is pretty common and is seen in companies that help target the LGBTQ plus community. So, by understanding these four types of segmentation, the demographic, geographic, behavioral, and psychographic, businesses can effectively target their customers with tailored products and marketing strategies. And in the long run, this also guarantees or at least increases the likelihood of high customer satisfaction and business success. Now, segmenting business markets also works very similar to how you would segment your consumer markets, but the criteria is different. So, how do we segment business markets? We still have similar variables. We have the demographic. We also have operational purchasing approaches, situational factors, and personal characteristics. So, when we say demographic variables, this refers to company segmenting by industry, by size, by location, their business customers. So, for example, a software company might sell one version of its product to small businesses, but another version to larger enterprises, and that's quite logical. It's reasonable because then their needs would be quite different. The features that they would require from the software would be different. Okay. Operational variables. So, this could include the technology a company uses or their operational setup. Next, we have purchasing approaches. So, some companies have centralized purchasing departments, while other companies may allow individual departments to make their own purchasing decisions. So this difference in approach will require also a some customization at the end of the company. It needs to know, is it Is it selling for the entire company through a single department, or does it have to target multiple departments inside that company in order to, be able to provide them with the solutions that they're looking for? Then we have situational factors, and this would refer to urgency or the size of orders. Okay, so some companies need products urgently, and so they might be willing to pay more for faster service. So it would also be helpful on the part of the company if it understands the situational factor in which it is selling. Is this urgent? What type of additional services would the customer need to help address its the situation or the circumstance that it is in. And lastly, personal characteristics. So business buyers also have different risk tolerances, right? So a more risk averse company might need more reassurance about the product reliability. And so it would be useful if the seller is aware of this so that it could also tailor its promotional approach to provide the right amount of assurance to help abate the risk concerns of the buyer.